Hello everyone. Today is August 27th, and this is your Zone 3B garden update. Oh, just watching the dill go to seed. The bees just getting their fill. Pretty awesome. This garden bed's not doing too bad. I got a ton of spaghetti squash in here. Looks like my zucchini's wanting to make a final round of fruit, but it's been a while since I even got a zucchini. Been getting some pretty decent pumpkins here. There's like 6 or 7. Various sizes. Pretty happy about that. Got my new bed that I made. I filled it up with a bunch of, I went to Fleet Farm and they had a bunch of open bag soil, like ripped bag soil, that I got a really good deal on. Hauled that up here, and that's what I filled this with. So it's everything from potting soil to actual raised bed soil to in-ground use soil. So it's like, you name it, whatever you can get at the store. A lot of it's like Miracle-Gro. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's probably not going to grow a bunch of weeds, so that's a good thing, but we'll see how long it lasts. But I did end up planting the last of my lettuce heads in here. So this will be my last round of lettuce. These tomatoes are already turning colors. Actually, they're a bit behind the other ones. I'm just a little bit surprised. My corn is doing great. I haven't had any animals like raccoons or nothing come. Well, no, I did once, but not since then, thank God. I did crack one of these open and just ate it raw. It was so good. There's a bit more lettuce. My string beans have been doing really good. I've harvested them a lot. This little cucumber, 2 cucumbers in here actually, that it just seemed to take forever to get going. Now it's going ballistic, so we'll see what happens if I get some cucumbers out of that. And here I've got, I'm really amazed how quickly this stuff has grown. It seemed really shabby when I put it in, and now it's just looking really good. So that's some good Bibb lettuce there. And then my last couple broccoli plants that I put in here. And I've been spraying them with pyrethrin. I don't know, man, those flea beetles just go after them so hard that it'll be a miracle if I get anything. And these tomatoes are just slowly producing. Got this run of lettuce here too that's looking pretty nice. And I got this run of lettuce. And then my no-go onions that just aren't doing anything because there's hardly any light there. But yeah, over here was my garlic and potatoes, which I've completely harvested. I got a good amount of potatoes. I kind of screwed up. I left a bucket of potatoes sit outside, and it had like perforations in the sides of it, so it was like just getting bombarded by the sun. I left it out there for a couple days, and all the potatoes that were in there, except for the red ones, turned to green. So actually, here, I'll show you. So yeah, here's my green potatoes. And I don't know, man. I looked online and it said not to eat them because this chlorophyll that is filling the skin up basically produces some chemical that in high amounts can be toxic. So I guess I don't know if I'm just going to put these back in the ground or what I'm going to do yet. But yeah, overall pretty disappointed in this section. I mean, even the pear trees that I planted, I mean, they just are really spindly and not strong. I mean, all these peppers that I planted in here just never amounted to anything, and I just don't see them getting much bigger than they are now. My okra here, just nothing hardly. All this really good Bibb lettuce is just like stalled out. I'm sure it's just bitter. Here's my other pear tree that's same. It's just really spindly. Never really took off. I mean, I question if it's the soil or moisture or what. I just don't really know yet. I'll figure it out though. It's irritating. And I'll back up here so you can get the whole. Yeah, this has been pretty solid for me. I've got a lot of these pickling cucumbers growing like crazy everywhere. One of the issues that I've had with this is this twine just really isn't strong enough to support the weight of these plants. Like whenever on a light wind or whatever, they just collapse. And I haven't had any plants snap, but they just fall down, and like tomatoes fall off on these ones. And I get it, it's really heavy, you know, it's a lot of weight, and this twine definitely is not sufficient. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do next year. This year I'm just gonna kind of struggle through it. And yeah, for some reason I couldn't find Sun Gold cherry tomatoes anywhere. The few that I did plant from seed, just I don't know what happened to them, but they didn't turn out. So all over in all the stores, it was just nothing but these sun sugars. So that's what I ended up planting, and they're not as good as the Sun Gold. I mean, there's all these claims that they make on there that, oh, they've got the most sugar content, and they don't crack open and this and that. And it's like, well, okay. I just don't see much difference from Sun Gold, except they're just not as good. So over here, a little bit more dill. Broccoli that I harvested that I'm waiting for broccolinis to grow on, but so far nothing. My really piss poor cabbage. Really depressed about the cabbage. It's just no heads. The slugs have just been laying waste to it all. But I do have some beautiful lilies, which is nice. A little bit more lettuce, not doing all that great. And these lilies here are just beautiful. Kind of funny how they face down like that, but same here. All my broccoli here, it never took off. It's like the worst year I've had for broccoli. Like year after year, I struggle with broccoli, and I don't understand it because it should be really good up here. I even get the stuff that says it won't bolt or resistant to bolting, and then, you know, this is what you get. You get this little tiny crown that immediately bolts. I have to figure, if anyone knows what I'm doing wrong, let me know. Same here, these supposedly big raspberries that I planted. They're no bigger than the wild ones, which are really tiny. And these are basically just tiny. And I was just hoping for the big ones, you know. Oh, here, all this volunteer mess. I mean, I'm not seeing a ton of fruit yet anywhere. There is some here and there, like this thing, and who knows what it all is. I'm guessing it's all like cross-pollinated variations of different things, so it's really going to be hard to identify, like, and say, oh yeah, that's a buttercup, or that's, I think it's a mixture of a bunch of different ones. And they're not really producing a ton of fruit is another thing, so sure looks pretty though. Spin around here. Been getting a ton of really good carrots this year. It's just kind of amazing how perfect they are. I think I really did a good job at thinning them. I think that helped out a lot. My few little pepper plants here that are actually growing. The carrots and the beets really wanted to kind of take over them, so I've been kind of removing the ones around the border there to give the pepper some more light and stuff. So, but even the beets, I've had some really good beets. Spring mix is going for like its 5th run here. And my cauliflower's been doing really good. Been harvesting it. I mean, most of these are already harvested, so. And then there's some potatoes mixed in there too that are not quite ready to harvest, but they're getting there. And look at this monster. Isn't that incredible? It just goes down so far too. Just going out. Just climbing away. Just can't even believe it. I wish all my stuff grew like this. It's like a one-time thing, you know. How does it grow so big back here when I can barely get them to grow like this anywhere else? So it just kind of amazes me. But this is one of the main things I wanted to show, is this massive patch of basil, which you should smell it. It smells so good. But I'm having some serious issues with slugs. They're just destroying my basil. When you get up close and look, they're just holes everywhere. And I've been coming out here 3-4 times a night and removing slugs by hand, putting Sluggo down. It's just amazing that you throw down all this Sluggo and there's still slugs everywhere. This year is like the worst year for slugs. Just unbelievable. And the last thing I wanted to show here was my first year grapes. They're definitely producing grapes. They're the Valiant grapes, so they're pretty tiny. So hopefully those do well over time. It's just definitely the first year, so I don't have a lot of expectation for them, but yeah, that's it. Y'all take care.